go into chemotherapy. You cannot take the risk of letting the cancerous substances metastasize. That is where the real problem is. Today, my lords, at a stage of incomplete investigation, if your lordships were to say that, look, so far you have shown us only Hazaribagh, Patna, we do not know exactly where it is going. Do we ask a whole host of people, maybe 24 lakh, maybe 13 lakh, maybe 2 lakhs, to rewrite the exam? What if your lordships were to turn us all down and say that, no, they have given adequate, it will not be aware as to or how many persons got into the system. And each government seat is a case of the government spending about 1 crore per year per medical student. So at about 25,000 government seats in the general category, Maloj, I also represent students who have got 690, 640 and all that. They will get a seat somewhere. But what they are not assured of is that they have got a fair rank.
You're not.
And after having taken your lordships through the student perspective, my lords, please look at the institutional perspective. Please look at NTA's constant responses to your lordships. If the NTA had been a serious examination agency, it would have been most concerned about the integrity of the process. But what did it do? On the 5th itself, when it was told that the paper had leaked, and on the 5th, if it had taken a decision, look, once there is a leakage of a paper, we find it unsafe. And supposing they had taken that decision and we were challenging it, saying, look, it leaked only in one place. How can you scrap an entire exam? Would your lordships have found an outrageous defiance of logic in that decision? I'm turning the question around.
Yes.
The NTA continued to deny the fact that there was a leak. It did not cooperate with the Bihar police. Apparently, the EOU even wrote them letters. They did not immediately cooperate. My lords, there were special circumstances this year. In May and June, everybody was preoccupied with the elections. Nobody was possibly there to guide them. It is quite possible that the administrative agency thought, just let the thing blow over or let whoever comes in guide us. Continually, they kept denying, and it was only when your lordships asked questions that then came that little thing that yes, we did give grace marks, but we can redo it by a retest for some 1563 students. At that stage also, if they had looked at their own data, if today they have not been transparent, they haven't given the full data. In fact, all the data that Mr. Huda has so painstakingly given your lordships has been after we were served with about 4,500 PDF files. That had to be run through, data had to be extracted, and we can see some hotspots. Whether they are hotspots, whether they are red flags, that is for them to explain. Then, my lords, the NTA continues to be in denial. It's only as late as the 22nd of June that changes are made in personnel and that the CBI is put in charge of the investigation. I do not know what has been there in that report. I do not know whether there is a theory of investigation. But what comes out is that there is an organized gang which has a prior history of leaking papers. It is their business model. And, my lords, when educational excess becomes a business model, the leaked paper is a time-limited commodity. You have it for 2 days or less. You have to maximize profit. And everybody into whose hands it goes, whether it is the paper solver or anybody else, will try to maximize.
Okay. Anything else now?
Just give me 2 more minutes, my lords. The fact is that we cannot tell the students that this is a fair exam. We cannot send a signal to the NTA that we approve of what you have done, nor can we tell those who indulge in these practices that, look, you may very well get away with it. Because if these results stand, those post-dated checks may still be cashed. They still have a value. So therefore, my lords, the safer thing to do is, your lordships has already done it. Your lordships has set a retest for those 1563. If your lordships were to treat what has happened so far as step one of the exams, everybody above 164 had a chance at a medical seat. Those people, give them a re-examination, because your lordships will see from their own affidavit, which Mr. Huda also pointed out, somebody who's got 720 ends up with 640. Let everybody be accurately measured. That's the least that can be done, my lords. I'm grateful.
Yes.
My lords, just one thing before I go. Since the Solicitor General is here and he likes Urdu poetry, the case can be summarized by one verse. तो इधर उधर की बात ना कर, मुझे ये बता काफिला क्यों लुटा, हमें रेजानों से गिला नहीं है, तेरी वरी का सवाल है. It is your guidance, it's your
Rezano, not Rezano. It's Rezano.
Rezano is obliged. Grateful, my lords.
2 minutes, my lord. Just I will take, my lord.
Just give me something.
My lord, I'll be grateful if your lordship give me little time and relieve me. Now, my lord, I'm grateful in one sense.
Now tell us, you want a retest, you don't want a retest.
I'm absolutely and unmissed and categorical terms asking for a retest. And my lord, I'm not asking for the...
I thought, you didn't want a retest.
No, my lord. My lord, I said, I'm happy that people, I prepared an application. What I have said in the application, you called my friend Sanjay Hegde and my friend. Treat this examination as a preliminary examination and conduct a main examination now. And I say, I believe that a JEE main preliminary examination. This, my lord, the issue here is not, we are not conducting a criminal trial. But, my lord, we are not even conducting a civil trial. The question whether the accuracy of these allegations are absolutely irrelevant. It is a question of, it is a question of common sense. It's a question of prudence. It's a matter, my lord, I may not be mistaken, it's a matter of governance. But, my lord, I rely on your lordship's own judgment to say that these issues involve violation of fundamental rights and therefore justiciable. I have only one difficulty I am asking myself a question. In Bombay, I always ask a question openly. Here I follow the Supreme Court practice of asking a question to myself. That, my lord, if these issues are justiciable, there are many who are qualified. And can this court ever decide without they being heard? Because these proceedings are not representative proceedings.
What do you have to argue on merits?
No, I am coming to that. But Lord, the question is, it's an administrative, it's a question of governance. Last case,
said some other matters waiting for you, so you might as well come to the point.
No, I'm exactly on the point. The point is that the integrity of the examination, the credibility of the examination is under doubt. It is not because the leak is proved in Rajkot. It is not because leak is proved.
Apart from what Mr. Huda argued.
No, I am not saying anything which
anything else?
No, let me. No, you have been very kind to and very patient to Huda. I am not uttering a word which my friend Huda has said. I will not. Only two things, my lord. The other day I said.
What is the first thing of the two?
No, my lord.
You said two things. What is the
first, my lord, only thing which I endorse Huda is as a reference to the bell chart. And the bell chart before that, I rely on
that gets shown us now.
I'm saying I will not say anything which somebody has argued. I will say only deal with issues which nobody has addressed. There is a counter affidavit. I'm not relying on anybody else's document except my friends, the government's counter affidavit. In counter affidavit in repetition civil number 362 of 2024.
What's the point that you
A point my lord is,
formulated?
yes, the point is, this graph shown is ex face incorrect. It is, I am only a commerce graduate, I am no engineer, but to me, and it find no difficulty to explain, I take your lordship to page 17. Page 17 of the counter affidavit. There, my lord, your lordship will find there is a year-wise mark obtained. Your lordship will have a look at, my lord? Yes. Then the total is the 2024 count between 700 to 720, etc., etc. It is the total I have calculated. It comes to 1,42,137. 1,32,137. Now, my lord, they have created a chart. They have given a chart, and that is on the previous page. At page 13, that's a so-called bell curve. It is so microscopic. My lord, here I take your lordship to page 13, detailed analysis. And my lord, let me take your lordship to the entry 520 to 540. 520 to 540. And that is not directly linked to the dot shown above. It is in between. Now, they are given certain figures. 25.7, 23.2, 20, 12.7, and 2.3. And total is, it is 83,009. Your lordship, my lord, the figures. I'm going to take your lordship this chart. There's an important issue to be stated, my lord. This chart, 25, 23, etc., the total is 83,900. Going by their chart, the next page, the total number is 1,42,137. And there's a shortage of 58,237. And therefore, my lord, this chart is manifestly, I'm not using very strong expression, incorrect. The engineer or consultant said something else. My lord, I only got a Mark Twain. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. So, my lord, therefore this chart, this bell chart is a fraud.
Okay, thank you.
Then coming to that, my friend took you, your lordship, to the chart of many centers. There, my lord, the bell chart concept. I'm no, my lord. It is not my argument that there is no leak because of the bell chart. It is the argument which my friends have addressed to the court to establish that everything is normal. So this bell chart itself, which shows, Lord, here it's all about first impression. What prima facie appears. No question anything to be proved absolutely. Sikar, anybody can give you the explanation that Sikar is an education center, but that explanation will not work with the Rajkot. Rajkot is not a coaching center. But the fact to be considered is, now this leaks has been, the leak industry is worth 25,000 to 2,500 crores because 50,000 needs medical seats are there, of which 25,000 on merit basis, and in the medical colleges, the capitation fees anything between 50 lakhs to 1 crore, and therefore this industry what they're involved in is an industry worth 2,500 crores. And leakage, the question of examination leakage, it has been happening for many years. I would know it happened in 2013, it happened in 2014, it happened in 2016. And these stations which we have referred to in Haryana, that was all involved in that. And in 2017, the matter came before this court.
Nidumar has got a general to what you are arguing. Thank you.
Then, my lord, let me conclude it, my lord, with one or two sentences. Then, my lord, let me conclude it. Now, therefore, the question whether the leak which is not in dispute, which occurred in Patna, whether it has reflected in the results of elsewhere. For instance, Latur. Latur is not a great educational coaching hub, and that is a question which is not extremely relevant, because they ask any student, and I have filed a petition. I take your lordship to the petition. All the students, the petitioners have scored. All of them have scored more than 650. That they filed an application for implement, and that application.
Yes, Nidumar, that we got to us.
Yes, I will only take your lordship to the marks. The petitioners with the 6 numbers was put.
They all got more than 60.
Yes, the numbers. I am just taking 1 minute to your lordships. 690. Why are they? Then Anuraga Turku 652, and one of the students is here, and she got.
Got the point.
Yes. So therefore, my lord, I conclude.
Yes.
Their examination be cancelled, and re-examination be conducted for those who are eligible. 13 lakh students.
3.5. Because my first prayer was Milord's Re-neet. Milord, I am not repeating what my learned seniors have argued. There was only one judgment for your lordship's assistance, Milord. The observations are very relevant in this Tanvi Sarwal's judgment. Sarwal's case. Because, Milord, in lordships came to a conclusion that there were 44 students confirmed with their benefit. That situation also your lordships were...
6 lakhs.
Yes, out of 6 lakhs. But your lordships were in a situation to see what could be done in this situation, whether I should cancel the exam or not wait for the investigation. But in that situation, your lordships have cancelled the exam, certain observations, because ultimately these are medical doctors who are playing with their lives. My lords, they will be...
What is that?
Yes, my lords. 2015, 6 SCC, 573. Yes. Because I would, if my learned court master could
Just repeat
this much. 2015
and
6 SCC. No, sir. 2015 6 SCC 573. No,
one of the petitions what we have filed is the resolution.
because here in this situation, in this matter also, the investigation was in process. Certain reports were before your lordships. And your lordships did come to a conclusion that we don't need to wait for the reports. The very fact that 44 also have benefited. Lordship may just turn to 593 page, my lords. Lords, para 14.19. This was also, my lords, medical examination, APIMT, my lords, at that time, which CBSE was conducting, before the NEET came in, my lords. If I may read, my lords, 14.19. Till date, 44 candidates have been... am I with your lordships, my lords? Yes. Till date, 44 candidates have been found to be confirmed beneficiaries in the scheme who have been supplied with answer keys during the examination through electronic devices installed in their vests. Out of 358 suspects, mobile numbers of beneficiaries, 44 have been found to be registered at fake identities. 166 million, all those were respect of the facts which were there in that. Then 15 million, the investigating agency in this report has stated in clear terms that from the disclosures recorded, it is beyond doubt that the strategy of providing answer keys has been executed by an organized gang with a network spreading over different parts of the country. The Inspector General Haryana, who was present with his team, having been granted the leave, submitted the investigation. Full swing is in progress. Because then I'll take your lordship down, my lords, where your lordships have held para 19, my lords. Segregating only the already 44 identified candidates stated to be the beneficiaries of the unprincipled maneuver by withholding their results for the time being, in our comprehension, cannot be the solution to the problem that confronts all of us. Not only thereby, if the process is allowed to advance, it would be pushed to the vortex of litigation pertaining thereto in the foreseeable future. The prospects of the candidates would not only remain uncertain and tentative, They would also remain plagued with the prolonged anguish and anxiety involved in the ordeal of court cases. Acting on this opinion would in our estimate amount to driving knowingly the students who are not at fault to an uncertain future with their academic career in jeopardy on many counts. Further, there would also be lurking possibility of unidentified beneficiaries. This is important. Candidates stealing a march over them on the basis of the advantages availed by them underhand dealings as revealed. Having regard to the facts that the courts involved, sorry. Yes, Milods, at the top of 595, very relevant, Milods, having regard to the fact that the course involved with time would yield the future generations of doctors for the country who would be in charge of public health, their inherent merit to quality for taking the course can by no means be compromised. Then, Milods, then they talk about the facts of the case, Milods, and then, Milods, around 8-9 lines from the top, we are conscious of the fact that every examination being conducted by human agency is likely to suffer from some shortcomings. But deliberate inroads into a framework of the magnitude and the nature as exhibited in the present case demonstrate a deep-seated and pervasive impact, which ought to not to be disregarded or glossed over, lest it may amount to travesty of proclaimed mechanism to impartially judge the comparative merit of the candidates partaking therein. Then, if your lordship may come down to para 21. Conscious are we that as a consequence, All India PMT Dental 2015 would have to be annulled, thereby disturbing the time schedule given by this court in so-and-so judgments, my lords. Though we respectfully subscribe to the calendar of the dates fixed in these cases, more particularly in the textual context thereof, we perceive that in the extraordinary fact situation that confronts us, where the examination involved is vitiated to the core by use of deceitful means and measures to the benefit of some, the consideration of departure from the set time schedule per se would not be a wholesome justification to sustain the otherwise tainted exercise. The time frame fixed by this court in the above case, in our opinion, we are not intended to be inflexibly adhered to in the situation of the kind with which we are seized off. The schedule of dates was fixed so as to streamline and discipline the process of admission by uniform application. So, my lords, in this, my lords, then para 23, we are aware that the abrogation of the exam would result in some inconvenience to all concerned and that some extra time would be consumed for holding fresh examinations with the renewed efforts. This, however, according to us, is the price that stakeholders would have to suffer in order to maintain the impeccable and irrefutable sanctity and credibility of the process of examination, to assess the innate worth and capability of the participating candidates for being assigned inter se merits. So, Milords, in this, your lordships did order re-examination of more than 6 lakh students. Milords, at the cost when 44 was available before them that yes, they are confirmed beneficiaries. And Milords, the last submission in this, which I am obliged to my learned friend to have shown it, there is a statement of line, even if one undeserving candidate, this is in para 20, even if one undeserving candidate, a beneficiary of such illegal mechanism, though undetected is retained in the process, it would be a denial of claim for more deserving candidates. So when it's para 20, lordships have said that. Plus today, the investigation. There are other players in my petition. Your lordships are only considering Re-neet as of now because other players as of
Like what?
yes, Milord. I have said in the alternative, Milord, if your lordships are not inclined, because there were many students, not only 1563 students, who had been given question at which I have also annexed the invigilator instructions. They have to put the time. So there are many students. Nobody knew that they would get a time frame, Milords, for the